The rugby season, unfortunately, only kicks off in 26, and the Rugby World Cup is light years away. For Springbok fans, that leaves them longing. But at least now with the draw, we know where South Africa's 2027 campaign begins. The Springboks were drawn with Italy, Georgia and Romania in their pool. Former Springbok and rugby commentator Hanyani Shimange says the pool itself won't trouble the Boks, but what comes after might.
If you're a betting man, you don't bet on South Africa losing any of those games. The reality is it's going to go down to the performance, getting the selection right, and then going into a quarterfinal. So the group stages are the group stages. The big thing is we'll get the result. It's how you play, because you've got a big quarterfinal and we could possibly play the host nation in the quarters.
For the four-time world champions, the mission is clear: defend the title again and become the first team ever to win 3 Rugby World Cups in a row.
We started planning for this World Cup almost a year ago, so Sasha Feinberg will have close to 30, 40 tests. Kenan Moody will be there, Willemson's already there, he's 1-2. So in terms of depth of player, the squad we've got, the age profile, the hard thing is going to be picking that squad. I think that's where the magic is going to be. We've had good results against all the teams that we're going to be facing.
On this field in Cape Town, the next generation is already training for that future. Many Springboks started right here, and some of these young players hope their turn comes in 2027.
It's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hours in the dark. So it's my dream, it's my plans. I'm obviously going to do as much as I can to get towards and as close as I can towards that Bok team. A lot of people look at this pool and they say it's quite easy for the Boks, but like we've seen in the past, I don't think you can write off any game in the World Cup.
But this World Cup is not just a South African story. After 33 years, Zimbabwe is back on rugby's biggest stage. They will have to face former champions England, Wales and Tonga, the Pacific Island nation.
This wasn't done overnight. I think for them qualifying for the World Cup has been a long process around it. A lot of people have invested in it. And as long as the people that have invested see the success and what it means for them, that investment will carry on. So I hope South Africa will be my first team. Zim will certainly be my second team.
2 of Zimbabwe's rising stars are preparing for Australia 2027 right here in Cape Town.
Yeah, I think it's huge for the country, it's huge for all the players that will be there. I'm fortunate enough to hopefully join them for the World Cup, which will be amazing for me, and hopefully I can help add to the squad as much as I can. It's a huge opportunity for everyone, and the pool we've drawn to face England and Wales, they're nations that are known for their rugby, so it's an awesome experience for most guys, and no doubt they're going to seize every opportunity.
I think it will be a massive test in itself. I think the boys are ready. I mean, we have 2 years to prepare. And yeah, I think it should go well for the boys. I mean, definitely me. I mean, it's only my first year at UCT, and already I feel like from last year I've developed a lot. And obviously I have to give credits to not only the players but the coaches that keep pushing me, and obviously know where my goals lie and everything, and to obviously be able to contribute as much as I can to the Zim team in 27 and in the years coming up now in the Nations Cup and so forth.
It may feel early, maybe very early, but the draw has set the direction for the Springboks, for Zimbabwe, and for every young player out here dreaming about playing on the world stage. Julie Shara, CGTN, Cape Town.
All right, the action gets underway in 2 years' time, but let's discuss this further. Nairobi-based sports journalist William Juguna is still here with me in studio to discuss more on the Rugby World Cup draw conducted earlier this week in Australia. William, unlike the FIFA World Cup that we heard of earlier, the teams playing the Rugby World Cup do know who they'll be facing more than a year to the finals.
Yeah.
Why exactly does the rugby world favor an early draw like this?
Yeah, it favors an early draw because now teams are given adequate time to prepare and to play your test matches in preparation for the World Cup, because the rugby windows is not like football. Football has like 3-4 windows in a year. Rugby just has, I think, June and November. So you've got a year and a half to prepare and plan for the World Cup, to talk with World Rugby, see where you can get games to play in June, and probably play higher ranked opposition, so that when you go to the World Cup, you're not getting spanked 80, 90, 100, 120 nil. And that's what I think Zimbabwe should be looking out for. Play quality opposition, quality teams, so that by the time you go for the World Cup in Australia in 2 years' time, you're competitive, you can match the big boys in either Tier 1 or Tier 2. I mean, World Rugby, I think, have done a lot in terms of investing in the so-called Tier 2 or Tier 3 nations to play competitive matches in the June and November window, so that you're adequately prepared. And of course, you get a very good funding from from World Rugby to play those matches.
Okay. Speaking of the big boys in the game, of course, the Springboks are the team to beat. Head coach Rassie Erasmus has just been handed a new contract up until 2031. Just how important is Rassie to the Springboks as they now seek to make history, 3-time winners in Australia?
I think he's the glue which holds this, SA team together, because he's been there since 2018, molding this team. They won the World Cup back-to-back. He's an innovator. He's a thinker. South Africa right now, if the World Cup was being played this year or even next month, I think we'll beat everybody very easily. I think they're the team to beat. They have innovated. They've brought in new players, young blood. We are seeing they've gone away from their strengths, or which is physical rugby, playing to the corner, scrums and lineouts. Now you can see, and they bomb scored. Now they can even run the game from their own 22. They've got fascinating wingers. They've got line breakers in the backs. They're the team to beat right now. I mean, based on what we saw this year, I think they only lost 2 games to Australia and New Zealand. They've just completed the Northern Tour. They've literally beaten everybody. So they're the team to beat. And Rassie now staying for another 4 years means he's got a pool of players now he can work with, he can choose from. He can go to the universities, he can go to the South African rugby franchises and pick young upcoming players who not only can play in the World Cup in 2 years' time, but also in 4 years' time. And I think it's good that he's staying on board. All
right, you touched on Zimbabwe, the other African representatives. They're in Group F here.
Yes.
Realistically speaking, what can they expect from the World Cup following this draw?
It's a tough draw for them. They've been out for the last 30 years. And they're playing Tonga, they're playing England, they're playing Wales. Wales, of course, are literally playing poorly right now, but any day on any given day, our Wales team will still beat Zimbabwe, despite the issues they have in Wales. England, of course, we know are the 3rd ranked team in the world right now. Wherever they're in good form. So for me, realistically, I think the Zimbabwe game, which they can win, they can target is maybe the Tonga game. Maybe they can push Tonga, they can go close, probably try and get a win, but it's a learning curve for them. I think for me, the key for Zimbabwe will be this next year, who they play in the build-up to the World Cup. If they can get good games against either Georgia, Romania, or even Italy, and some of the European heavyweights, especially in Tier 2, it'll build a confidence in them. And kudos to them. Whatever, Zimbabwe have been out for a while, issues with the governance of the game there, issues with the running of the game, but eventually it came together and they've qualified for the World Cup. En route to qualifying, they beat us as Kenya, and also they beat Namibia, and well done to them. But the hard work starts now. They can't afford to sleep. They really have to get good games next year and in the lead up to the World Cup in 2027.
All right, we're almost out of time here, William, but very briefly, let me ask you, you've touched on Namibia, you've talked about Kenya. Only 3 African countries have qualified to the Rugby World Cup in the history.
Yes.
And all from the south. What does the rest of the continent need to do, especially countries like Kenya, to maybe catch up?
Kenya needs to start our preparations early. For me, we can't afford to go into a World Cup here is when now we start going to South Africa to play the Currie Cup teams and think that we're going to qualify for the World Cup. This, I think our union has to be intentional. Give us a roadmap from now until the next World Cup. Who do we play? Who are the players who are coming through? How is our age grade structure? Who are the players who are coming from under 16, under 18, under 20, under 23? Go even lower to under 12, under 10, so that in the next 4 or 5 years, you know that you've got a good crop of players who are coming through, to your national team, and then expose them to playing elite rugby against some of the top rugby nations in the world. The likes of Georgia, the likes of Romania, the likes of Hong Kong, the likes of Japan. Teams which are ranked higher than you. Then you play them on a more consistent basis. Not in that World Cup year is when now you're starting to look for build-up matches. It has to be intentional. It has to be well planned out. It has to be structured.